It doesn't matter if you have one follower or like 1 million followers, but what people don't realize is most of the time somebody is looking up to you and you don't even know it.
Today we're talking about influence. And what does that mean? Because when I hear the word influence, I think of someone with a lot of followers on social media or someone really popular in my everyday life. Every single one of us have influence. The big question is, how are you going to use it? What's up, Switch? We are back with our series, Must Have Jesus. And last time we talked with Justin and Andrew about how we find healing. And today we're switching it up just a little bit, talking about how you and I have influence. And we get to discuss how we can use that in our everyday life. Really excited for you to get to check it out. When you guys were starting your YouTube page, when you started filming videos, was there anybody who you kind of were influenced by, or you were like, I want to be like that you started with? Was there anybody you're like, yeah, that's the person?
Well, we first started YouTube, we were trying to do like public pranks. So we watched Ed Bassmaster all the time.
He was the prank legend. Also watched Jack Vale, another legend, one of the first people to do it on YouTube. There are a bunch of fellow creators that we're always watching like what they're uploading and trying to get influence from. I mean, the list is endless, really. We're always keeping our eyes open.
We did something a little bit unnecessary. I'm not a math wizard, and this is really hard to wrap your brain around, I think. But we totaled up all of your subscribers on YouTube, Instagram, all the places, and it fills up over 123 NFL stadiums. And when you think about that number, how does that make you feel?
Funny story. I remember literally back in the day, because we're big Broncos fans and we used to live in Denver. I would drive by the stadium and think that we almost have enough subscribers to fill this stadium. And I think that fits 72,000. And to me, like in that moment was just like absurd to even think about. So now that we're having 100 stadiums filled, basically, it's hard to even wrap your mind around.
I was going to say, I don't really think about that hardly ever. I can't even fathom that. I mean, obviously the feeling is pretty phenomenal. It's just weird to know that many people follow us. I think it's really cool that we've been able to do what we've done.
Oftentimes when we think of influence, we think of adding followers on Instagram or TikTok. But honestly, influence is about serving, listening, caring about those around us. You are leaders of today, people who are called to love those around you well. You are leading the way by following the example of Christ.
You have a ton of influence. And so obviously not everybody has that kind of influence of 123 stadiums, but everybody has influence. So what would you say to students about how to use that in their daily life?
You could influence so many people in so many different ways. I think the main thing is to know that you have unique gifts, and using those gifts will influence somebody. A lot of people think that, I need the audience in order to influence people, but we have no idea what impact we are leaving, whether we see it or don't see it.
It doesn't matter if you have one follower or like 1 million followers, but what people don't realize is most of the time somebody is looking up to you and you don't even know it. Whether that's just a fellow like classmate or a younger sibling, but somebody is looking at you and saying, I like what they're doing. I want to kind of emulate it or be influenced by.
I also think of Jesus changed the whole world and he had 12 followers.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter what number you have by your Instagram profile or whatever. What matters is that you're loving the people right in front of you well. But a big part of what you do is like, it is about you, and you guys are fun guys, but how do you protect your heart and like the temptation of pursuing your own fame in the space that you guys are in?
I think it's been very helpful and important to have boundaries. So having boundaries where we're not like, we need to get to this or else we need to get to this number, make this much money, or everything's going to fall apart.
And I would say we've been like super blessed just from the start in the regard that it's been us doing it together, because it's never been about just me, right? Never been just about Justin. but it's been about sort of like our content and our mission and our vision. So I feel like if it was just me doing it, then I would fall maybe more into that route of, oh, I got to make myself look cool, or I got to gain the most followers for myself. So I think we've just been, like I'm saying, super blessed from the beginning that it's been more about a team and an essential mission than it is about like personal followers or how we look.
But don't get us wrong. Like, we deal with obviously temptations of money and everything all the time. We all deal with it. We deal with it. So I think it's just being grounded and knowing who we are and where we want to be.
John 13 verses 34 through 35 says, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." You have influence. God wants to use you to make an impact on the people around you. Even if you feel like you don't have it all together, God can still use you. Even when you don't witness the outcome, your words and actions now have more influence than you think. Check out this clip from our senior pastor, Craig.
I really believe that you need to see yourself as God sees you, that you are an influencer. I believe you're called to be a light in this world and to show the love of God day in and day out. You have no idea how one conversation, one word of encouragement, or one expression of love might change someone's life. You have no idea how God might use one word, one moment, one generous expression in the life of another person to love them toward the grace of Jesus. Culture has hijacked the term influencer. I'll tell you what I mean by this. I did some research and just went online to try to figure out what different articles and writers would say about influencers. And when I typed in what is an influencer, the very first definition that came up online was this. Here's what an influencer is. An influencer is an individual who has the power to affect purchase decisions of others because of their authority, knowledge, or relationship with their audience. Really? That's what an influencer is? Someone who influences purchase decisions because of the number of followers they have? And today, unfortunately, culture has hijacked the term, and many people say, well, an influencer is a celebrity, is a content creator, is someone who's amassed a great number of followers on social media. What I want to try to do today is I want to try to reclaim the word influencer. And I want you to see yourself as an influencer because you have no idea how our God could use one word of encouragement that you give to someone else, one moment or one expression of faith to change someone else's life. Matthew chapter 5, he says, you are the salt of the earth. What does salt do? Salt purifies, salt preserves, salt adds flavor. And then Jesus says, you're also the light of the world. You're shiny. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand and it gives light to everyone in the house. It just shines. Darkness never overcomes the light. And Jesus says, you are light. In the same way, Jesus says, let your light shine before others. Let your love influence people toward Jesus. Let your light shine that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Let's reclaim the true meaning of what it is to be an influencer. And I'm not against influencers in culture. I want to be one on social media. I hope that some of you could be as well. But the problem with our current view of influence is that it typically starts with platform. Platform. The size of your platform determines the scope of your influence. No, I think truthfully it starts with something different. I believe that true and lasting influence always starts with people before platform. It always starts with people. And the good news is that all of you have people in your sphere of influence that you come into contact with every single day. You are called to be an influencer.
So we talked earlier about how it's important to make Jesus a part of your daily life. So how can students point people back to Jesus in everything they do, even if it's not directly related to church?
Just how like actions speak a lot louder than words in a lot of cases. So I think just how you behave around other people, how you act around other people, how you show love to other people, all these things can point people to Jesus and to coming to know him and going to church.
I mean, look at the trees, the flowers, the birds. Their very just presence point to a creator. And I think God created us in his image. So we too can, by living in a called life that he calls us to, we can point others to him by interactions. Because like you guys said, you don't know us personally, but you can tell that we love the Lord based on who we are and how we act. And something I've shared all the time is I can show others that I love my wife and my family without even telling you guys, without being like, I don't have to be like, guys, I love my wife and my kids, and here's how I do this, I do this, I do this. By the way, I act in public, my demeanor can show you and prove that I do love my family. And so I think we could do the same with God, is like we can use our natural given gifts that he's given us and express them and be creative and have fun.
Yeah. And if people have questions too, like there's that verse that says, acknowledge him in all you do. So I think especially like how we're having this conversation, like just acknowledging him and like his blessing in our lives and stuff. So being prepared for when people have questions to just, acknowledge him.
Whether you have millions of followers online or your circle of influence is your family or the kids that you go to school with, you have influence. So what are you doing with it? Are you using your influence to promote yourself, to point people to you, or are you using it to point people to Jesus? What are you doing with your influence? Because you have people all around you that are looking for someone to follow, to give them direction. So this week, who is someone that you can show the love of Jesus to? We just finished up part 2 of Must Have Jesus. We can't wait to see you back next time.